any tips for people to detect if there is some kind of lying or deception going on?
I'm trying to make people aware of handling their repressed feelings. That is something where I feel that probably I can be a teeny tiny bit, or I can be a person of some contribution.
What motivated you to pursue psychology and body language?
The reason is very much personal because
Hmm.
when my relationships were not working out, that is the time I thought, why can't I figure out if this person is a cheater or if this person is actually loyal.
So currently, how are you helping people? One thing is you're teaching body language, but you're also into therapy and counseling. How are you currently helping people, and what kind of work you're doing?
And this is something I and my husband keep arguing about. I tell him that women are more intuitive in terms of social skills.
Hmm.
That means
Namaskara, hello, and welcome to the School of Men, the talk show of the men for the men, where we bring on experts, achievers, and people with inspiring stories to share their knowledge and wisdom, which can help you and me become better men and excel in all areas of our life. Today's episode is going to be super interesting, and I'm excited for this and looking forward to this. Now, imagine you have this ability to look at a person, analyze what their eyes are saying, see how wide they are smiling, and notice where their palms are and where their right pinky is pointing, and predict what's going on in their mind. Now, isn't that a cool superpower to have? Well, our today's guest has this superpower, and the best thing, she can teach you this superpower. She is popularly known for her online handle Body Speaks Better. Let me welcome Kanan Tandi to the show. Kanan, welcome to the show.
thank you so much for inviting me.
Okay, Kanan. So, why not let our listeners know about you? I know you're popular as Body Speaks Better, but let's know who is Kanan and what is your background and um, how you came to be what you are today.
Okay. So I think I'm the best suited example for somebody who thinks that maybe it is too late to start a career. So the thing goes back to the school days when I was interested in becoming a doctor, and then that didn't happen. And then my father wanted me to become an engineer, even that didn't happen. So I ended up becoming a person who graduates from history. And then in the history, when I was studying and when I was knowing about all these things, I got to know that there's more to life. And why not I study something called as MBA, which was a trend back then. And I didn't really like MBA after joining MBA. And then I entered into something called as non-verbal communication, which is body language. Once I got to know about body language or the nonverbal communication, I wanted to learn more. And then after my MBA and after the body language communication, nonverbal communication, I entered into psychological field. I entered into psychology only because I wanted to go for a PhD, which will be happening in next year. And you need to have a master's degree in psychology to do a PhD in psychology. So that's the minimum criteria. And only for that, I had to enter into psychology. When I entered into the field, that's when I got to know that, okay, there is more to the thing. So, body language is what is outside, and the insecurity triggers are something which is inside. So on a day-to-day basis, what I do is I teach people body language, and then I counsel people also in terms of overcoming what are the triggers and how do they come across various kind of personalities and how to deal with them. Okay, yeah, one more
Totally.
thing. So one thing is point is I have studied various things. I have studied pure science with bio, then I studied history, then I
Hmm.
studied
Hmm.
management, then I studied psychology, and finally I found my footing. So that's why I thought
Hmm.
I will tell you, if
Yeah.
somebody studies something and they feel, oh, it's too late for me. No, I started my career at 27, so I think it's not that late.
See, you said you tried so many different things, but at least as of now, you're stuck with body language and psychology. What motivated you to pursue psychology and body language?
The reason is very much personal because
Mm,
when my relationships were not working out, that is the time I thought, why can't I figure out if this person is a cheater, or if this person is actually loyal, or if this person is going to be with me for a longer period of time. So after dating couple of wrong kind of people, I thought, if there is something which I have with which I can figure out all these red flags, so probably I will be in a better position to date the right kind of person. That was the reason. And when I started teaching it, I got to know there are much more aspects of the body language. So that was the main reason.
so basically, you're saying, I heard this from my mentor, your mess becomes your message, right?
Oh, that's a wonderful thing to hear. Yes, that's absolutely
Yeah.
correct in my case.
Yeah. So currently, how are you helping people? One thing is you're teaching body language, okay? But you're also into therapy and counseling. How are you currently helping people, and what kind of work you're doing?
My approach is two kind. Whatever is the demand of the client, I have to give them that. For
Mm,
example, there are
mm,
two approaches that I go forward with. One is inside out approach, one is outside in approach. Inside out approach is somebody comes to me, they say that, okay, my relationship is not working out, or I have a problem with my parents, or I don't think I am motivated enough. That is inside out. So you need to work on yourself, and then
mm,
your body language comes into being. But on the
okay.
other hand, there is something called as outside in. There's this
Mm,
guy who comes to me saying that, okay, I feel that I'm a very good person, but my body language does not say so. How do I
mm,
attract the right kind of person? Or where
mm,
this girl who comes to me and she says that, how do I attract the right kind of partner? Because I come across as a person who's very rude. So I tell
mm.
them in terms of
Yeah,
body language, these are the things you need to do so that
yeah.
all these things will get translated to the another person in a proper manner. So there are two
Okay.
approaches on what I do. One is inside out, one is outside in. Both are equally effective based on what are you looking for.
Yeah, I mean, what are the common kind of issues you encounter when people come to you?
The most common issue that I have found is the trauma which is there.
Mm,
Now, trauma word is anyway, it's exaggerated. A lot of people use traumas. Everybody's
yeah,
traumatized these days.
yeah.
And part of it is true because the childhood experience matters a lot. And
Mm,
how you have experienced your childhood. And let's say if you have a brother or a sister and how they have experienced their childhood, both will have different repercussions or different results on you, on your persona. So, if I have to boil it down, it will be coming to the common problem of repressed feelings. So, the feelings that we had to share, but we did not get the room to share. That becomes repressed emotion and repressed feelings. And because that is the seed, the roots or the stems are also different. So, for example, somebody who's been neglected becomes a woman who puts on a lot of makeup on the face and wears scanty clothes. Somebody who has been neglected as a boy probably will become very loud and extremely extrovert. So the thing are emotionally repressed feelings. So the things that we suppress during the childhood, those are the things which I deal with the most.
still every area of your life, maybe it's your relationship, your personal and professional relationships, how you behave with your friends, how you see yourself. Is that what is, am I right here?
Yes. So it comes
Okay.
down to that part on, okay, if you are deep down a very fearful person who has been scared in the childhood,
Hmm.
so you will
Hmm.
grow up mostly to be an overconfident person or a very insecure person. So these are the things that I deal with.
Okay. Great. So uh, let us know how can people reach you and get help from you.
Oh, thank you so much for asking these questions. There are two ways that people can reach out to me. The easiest way is the Instagram DM, and I
Yeah.
read all my Instagram DM in spite of having 280K some followers. I read all of them. And
Hmm.
the reason I go through them is because somebody might be in a problem and they are reaching out to me. So
Mm.
if I see that, hi, my name is XYZ and I'm reaching out to you because of this, can you please
Mm.
help? If that is the question,
Mm.
I respond to them. But if
Okay.
it is some random reel somebody has sent it to me, or just a hi, or some picture, I will not entertain that. So that is
Mm.
one way to reach out to me, which is the easiest way. And if I feel it takes longer or longer time of mine, so I tell them to email, which is kanan at bodyspeaksbetter.com. So these are the two ways.
Yeah, I'll make sure to put your profile link and your email link in the description.
Sure.
So, since you talked about your Instagram DMs and all, do you also get a lot of weird DMs from weird kind of people? And how do you deal with
No.
it now?
No,
No.
I don't get a lot of weird DMs. I think
Mm.
it is also because I have put a lot of what is that? Some censored words that somebody
Mm.
wants to
Okay.
give me gali, their gali will not reach me because
Mm.
it is
Mm.
already blocked by Instagram. So I have this
Mm.
number of words that I do not want to hear, and all
Okay.
of these are
Okay.
galis. So
Okay.
that's
Great.
probably a, I do not get any weird DM. Second is I do not even get that kind of DMs like, oh, I really like you, you're so beautiful. Not even that. So I get
Mm.
only the good DMs where a person probably is reaching out for something, or
Mm.
I don't know why people send me my own reels. That is something I don't understand. So that is something I don't entertain also. That's second. So, and the third one which I get is only a hi. So my problem is,
Mm.
don't send me a hi. Tell me why are you
Yeah.
connecting with me, and I'll
Yeah.
respond. And I respond to
Yeah.
all such message which has a problem in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. So the best way to reach Kanan is to say hi. You can say hi, but also state why are you reaching out to her, and
Yes.
maybe a couple of words about your problem, or for that matter, any question. Just like I connected with her, you can ask any general stuff. She's a very nice person, and
Thank you.
uh, very generous of her to come on the show and share her knowledge with us.
See,
So,
ऐसा नहीं है. I wait a second. I will also tell. It's not that when Adarsh reach out to me, I said that I will not do it for free. So it's not that he's saying I'm so generous. I'm not so generous, and I would like to put this out there that I
mm,
love reading books, and I asked that these are the books that I'm hoping for, and it is generous
yeah.
of him that he said that okay, these are the two books, but these are all the 15 books that you can choose from. So that is his
Yeah.
idea. So it's not me who's generous in this podcast, for sure.
Great. Something which it was a surprise for me. I love reading books, and I love gifting books. That is because books have changed my life, and I know somewhere if the person reads the book and someone is asking for a book, I definitely make it a point to gift the book. I have done it with couple of my gym members and students. When they ask about some book, I'm just I just take their email and send it to their Kindle, or this just order the book and gift it to them. I love really gifting books because that can change someone's life. And pretty
Yes,
sure the books which I have gifted you will help not only you but also many other people because you are in this noble
absolutely.
profession. So that way, that is what I was thinking when I finally ordered the books and sent it to you. Um I think without even people knowing, I have created some impact already. That motivates me to do these things.
Yes.
Okay, Kanan. So let's come to the juicy matter. Uh, we'll talk about body language or non-verbal communication. Are these two different things? Or uh, they are same? And what is that? You know, interested you into this?
Okay. So, non-verbal communication is the umbrella term. Under
Mm,
non-verbal communication, we have body language and facial expressions, then we have voice. So, these are two parts. Sometimes with body language, we have facial expression. Some people put facial expression in a different area altogether. Now, when I started, It started in a funny way because the first time I heard the term body language was when I was learning tarot reading, right? And then my mentor told me that you need to look at people's body language and tell them what they want to hear, not what you're saying, right? So I said, okay, that's interesting. What is body language? He said, by looking at a person, you know what a person is thinking and feeling. And after that term, when I went for my MBA in symbiosis, that's when I got to know this term called as nonverbal communication under consumer behavior. So I pursued that again. And then there is something called as micro expression. So let me just explain that a little bit, go into the details. Under body language, then we have face and we have rest of the body. So when we have face, the first thing we have is the facial expression. Facial expressions can be divided into three parts: the macro expressions, the subtle expressions, and the micro expressions. Subtle expression is something where I'm just smiling and then macro expression is when I'm laughing or smiling or when I'm crying and when I'm angry. So this is full flash of every emotion on my face. Subtle is again showing off that emotion little bit. Micro expression, however, is when the expression is at the least. So it's like you gave me a book, let's say, and I got that book and I say, thank you, it's very nice. But the first thing I did is this, and that will be micro expression of disgust. So I didn't like it, but I can't tell you that I didn't like it. And most people use the facial expression of smile for granted. They say, "Oh, it doesn't matter, huh? Okay, fine. I really like you, but so they feel that I can smile and everything will be normal. So if a person is trained to catch these micro expressions, they know what is the hidden expression or feeling of the person. So that is only on the face, right? And then there are multiple facial expressions. When it is coupled with the gestures which are there, then you can actually know what a person is thinking or feeling. This is the basic idea.
See, you told about this someone gave you something and you, let's call it a fake smile. Okay, you did not like it, but you faked the smile. Uh, how, what do you think a normal person who is not trained like you, um, can a normal person uh, detect the body language, subconsciously and understand if the person is being honest or no? Is it possible like that?
Oh, that is 100% possible. But there
Hmm.
is one small little star mark which says conditions apply. Now, this
Hmm.
conditions apply are that condition where a person needs to be aware of their own biases and their own stereotyping and their own triggers. For
Okay.
example, let's say if I do not like a person from Karnataka, right? And
Hmm.
if let's say
Hmm.
I meet you, and once you say, "Hey, I'm from Dharwad," and I said, "Dharwad, where is Dharwad?" You say, "Karnataka." I said, "Oh yeah, nice." Now it is my own bias, right? Because
Hmm.
I don't like people from Karnataka for my experience. But because of that experience, I will never experience you as an individual person. So that will block the ability of mine to experience you as an individual. If let's say if I feel ki it's not people from Karnataka who have a problem, it's individual who has a problem, right? Then that biases will be sided or it will be put aside, and then when I meet you, then I can experience you as a person individually. That is one thing where people do not want to work on. So people come to me and then they also tell me, I can give you 50,000 per day, but teach me lie detection. I'm ready to like why would I not take 50,000 and teach somebody, right? But they don't want to learn and work on their own biases. They just want to read other people. So I feel it's like when you are, let's say, making aloo bhurji, okay, you need to put the salt at the end, not at the beginning, right? So if you put the salt at the beginning, then the aloo bhujia becomes very moisty, very soggy. It has to be put at the end. So people need to know the salt in the aloo bhujia is the understanding of non-verbal communication. So they need to be more aware of themselves, and most people do not want to work on themselves. They want to just know which person is cheating, lying, or I can read people. It's nice feeling, but you need to decode yourself first. That is the main problem.
I think it's true with any kind of skill or knowledge. Like people want a quick solution to very small problem, but it really takes a lot of um, lot of study and lot of effort to learn the stuff, and truly ingrain what you have to learn to be able to do that, right? Yeah. So I want to talk about this topic a little more, but before that, um, let our listeners know what are the real life applications of body language, where it is used. Are there people who are trained in it in the real life and they are using it? And people who are not trained have to get trained so that they can make best use of this.
The practical applications are in, let's say, in personal life and in professional life. I'll go with professional first.
Hmm.
Let's say you are going for an interview and it's a
Hmm.
panel discussion. So
Yeah.
before you enter the office, by looking at other people in the office, if you have a chance, then you will get this understanding on how people are behaving with each other in the room. They're the employees, current employees, right? And once you do that, if there is a panel discussion and whose body is pointing at whom and who's giving you a contempt face and who's giving a disgust face at the other person, all of these decoding will help you in understanding how they are perceiving your answers, whatever you're saying, right? This happened when I had gone for an interview in Mumbai, and the entire floor was very quiet. It was supposed to be an advertising agency, but everybody was so quiet, and I didn't like that feeling that people are not really talking, nobody's smiling at each other, very dead thing. So people like this, they hate their job every day because they are in such surrounding. So that's one, you can see that an interview means both people are looking at each other. It's not only you that you're being looked at, right? That's one scenario. Second scenario is, let's say you got a job and now you are in the office space or workplace, and then if you are given a team, if there is a reporting manager, if there is a subordinate, how will you behave with them, and how they are perceiving you is you can get from their non-verbal communication, which will put you at a better position to control any kind of conversation, and control in a positive way, not in a negative way. For example, if we both are colleagues and then you realize that I'm giving you contempt all the time, so you will figure out that okay, maybe she's feeling that she's superior or she's thinking that I'm inferior. So you will initiate the conversation in a matter or in a manner that I will try to talk to you, and then I'll realize, oh, he's not really inferior, he knows so much. Hence, these are the setups where decoding helps. Then the third scenario, where some people call it as office politics, right? By the way, I feel politics is a very positive word. It has got the negative connotation now. Politics is needed, but not in the office and workplace, of course. So this office politics or this toxic workplace or the work culture, that is also where your body language decoding will help in identifying which person is like which manner or which personality, so that you deal with that person in a very simple option is, do not have one friend or one particular group to go for a tea or coffee or snacks. Do not gossip in the office about anybody else. Absolutely. With anyone. If these two things are being done by any of the person, then they will not be seen as a person who will be indulged into gossiping. So people might not involve them, but people also will start respecting them. Right. So these are some of the things which are important. And the fourth is making the presence felt. So by looking at a person, if you feel their mood is not good, and if you look at them and if you just have a genuine smile and saying, hello, how are you? That normal, genuine smile is itself enough for the other person to feel a little better. If you're just saying good morning with a smiling face to someone and somebody is feeling happier or better, that is more than enough to make your mark in the workplace. But this should come from a point of genuinity that I really
Hmm.
want to make this place as a better place. So these are couple of things in professional world which where body language might help. Oh yeah, one more thing. If somebody has accused somebody of sexual harassment at workplace, you can even identify that with body language decoding if a person is telling the truth or not. I was in a committee 3 times, and I have identified 3 cases where people have women have lied that she's been molested or sexually abused while she was not. So top management also needs to learn these decoding tips, but again to learn about themselves first. So these are the professional arena or the space where it can be helpful. Personal life, it can be helpful in terms of making friends, choosing the right partner, making a better impression on your friends, on your family, also raising boundaries and maintaining respect. So some people, in the name of being straightforward, they become very rude, and they said, no, people can't understand me. So there is a way to communicate. And uh, in one of the books that you have sent it to me, it's written very clearly that talking to everybody in a nicer way means that that person is not good enough, so you talk to only that person who needs that power, right? And that is something I felt, why, but why do we have to do that? So I don't really accept, and this is somewhere where you need to read a book also with open mind. If you don't know me, I don't know you, I don't have to be not nice to you. It's not the thing. I can still smile and talk, you can still smile and talk. And this is also another way that I have identified situation where I might be in potential danger, and by looking at the non-verbal gesture of a person, I have saved myself, not once, not twice, multiple times, right? Second is also by looking at a person's nonverbal, you need to know if that is the person you should be communicating or making other connection or not, right? So any single person, it will be used as a brahmastra for the person, because without even talking, spending your time, money, and effort, you will already know what kind of person this is. So, should I go and talk to this person or not? So, these are the various applications of non-verbal communication or body language decoding.
So, how much is this, let's say, an exact science, and how much is this speculative art? Because I
Hmm.
think there are different layers to this, and like you said, there is also your personal bias involved, how you perceive people, and what's going on in your own mind. So, just throw a light on this. I mean, how much is it really exact science, and how much is it really a skill which has to be developed, or how much is it, how much percentage of it is speculative?
Okay. So this is being said that this body language decoding is as good as you flipping a coin, right? So somebody
Hmm.
did a study and they said that it's as good as flipping a coin. Somebody called as Mr. McLeish, he is into statement analysis. What kind of words are you using? Based on that, he will detect if you're saying the lie or the truth. The study on that was also done, and it was says it is correct only 54%. Again, somewhere around 50%. Now, what I feel, what people are missing, or how you mentioned what part of it is speculative, is the part where people do not look at the entire picture. Now, when I was learning under Dr. Paul Ekman, they cover these 5 channels. So they cover facial expressions and then gestures and then psychological aspect. What are the words? How the breathing technique? There are 5 different channels, right? And then all the channels, the combinations are different. For example, now that I'm chatting with you and the fan is at lower speed here, I'm sweating. So if I'm doing this, if I'm talking to you and I'm doing this, this is because I'm feeling hot.
Yeah, yeah.
But if everything is nice, we have AC and you're asking me question and you ask me something and then I start to do this, that means that there is something that I'm not comfortable with. So these are the points that people don't pay attention to. So if you are talking to me and if I start doing this, Is this a idiosyncratic behavior, which means that I do that on a regular basis, or this is something I'm doing because I'm nervous, or this is I'm doing because I'm flirting with you, or this is something I'm doing because I'm nervous. These are various things that a person needs to know. If they have the right combination with each other, they will reach to the exact truth of what is happening. That is where it becomes a speculative field. And that is where it becomes a pseudoscience, because people do not consider all these points. So it's not only which is my body, it is also my breathing pattern. It is also the environment where I'm sitting in. It is also which person asking me question. It is also what is my childhood experience and what are my biases, my triggers. It is also what are your biases and your triggers. Who will look at all these points? So this is the answer.
Great, great answer. See, if I'm pursuing you romantically, if you do this, then I'll have this bias that okay, you are into me also, right? That is
Yes.
also there. That will play into the picture. Okay, so let's say this. It seems like, I mean, it is obvious that it is a much deeper kind of skill which you have to develop and you have to practice it, and it takes a lot of effort. Um, for common people, what are few things which you can suggest in terms of how they can present themselves with a better body language? We have been hearing about this in when you go to an interview, you sit straight, you know, look into the eyes, smile. Do you have, you know, few things like this which will at least put you in the you know, top 10%, 20%, something like that?
I can guess, apart from the basics like sit straight and not cross your hand and all that, don't touch yourself and blah blah blah. I
Hmm.
One thing what I will tell people which is lesser known is taking the full coverage of the seat when you go and sit somewhere. So
Hmm.
do not sit at the edge of the seat, take the full coverage. So once you take the
Hmm.
full coverage, your lower back is supported. So by default,
Yeah.
you will be in a position where your back is straight. So you look confident, right?
Hmm.
And putting both the legs on the floor or on the ground at that point of time will not be that good, because once you put both the feet down, you will not look a person who's relaxed. So putting one leg on the other makes you feel like you are relaxed. Obviously, in an interview, if you're sitting like that, it might be a problem, because you think you know body language, but maybe the person who's sitting across you thinks that he or she knows body language better than you, right? So you might be seen as a person who's overconfident. So at that point of time, taking the full coverage of the seat is helpful. Second, when you are answering, if there is it comes to you normally or naturally, use both the hands while answering. And third is look at their hands. If you can see their hands, if their hands are not seen, not being seen, that means that they have a lot of things to hide. So that is a usual perception. If you can see a person's hand, that means they are being honest while talking, but it's not correct all the time.
Any tips for people um, to detect if there is some kind of lying or deception going on, especially when it comes to okay, let's talk about professional and also personal. When you're, you know, uh, talking to an opposite sex, maybe it's your partner or someone who you have you know, who you're pursuing romantically, something like that.
See, so this is something that I also get a lot of hate comments about. Okay. So when I
Hmm.
tell this in a decoding video that this may be this. So people comment there saying that every time you keep just saying maybe, maybe, you just can't tell everything for clear, because it's not. There are multiple things that are important here.
Hmm.
So when somebody says lie detection, there are 7 steps to lie detection, right?
Hmm.
So if I meet you for the first time, I can't decode if you're lying or not lying. That is given thing, right? So if somebody wants to tell me that, hey, just guess if I'm lying or not. If I'm seeing them for the first time, I can't do that. So I need something called as a baseline behavior. So baselining behavior is very important. Now, if a person has gone to meet somebody for an arranged marriage setup, right? So they will be behaving their best at that point of time. But I have a course which tells them on how to identify such people who are faking on their first arranged marriage date, right? There's also a workshop, upcoming workshop related to this. So a person who tells you that, hey, everything is good. So when a person is talking to you at that point of time, looking at the gestures or the body language, there is this one thing that we need to be attentive to, that is called as incongruency. Incongruence is what I'm saying and what I'm doing, totally different things, right? So obviously, out of the 7 steps, all 7 steps going into detail will take another podcast for it. But one thing what I can give is looking for incongruency. If you ask me, hey, did you like the book? And I said, yeah, I did not. I did like the book. I loved the book, right? So you're saying this, but I'm saying I love the book. So that is something which is an incongruency. Where people say, yeah, I'm really happy with her. So you're seeing something else, but you're hearing something else. That is something a person needs to look for, which is called as incongruency. That means it does not match. So what if I'm saying, listen, what you're doing, I'm really angry with you. This is not how you should do. I'm very angry. So where is the anger? If you're saying angry, where is the anger? So that is also there. But yet again, there is something called as the grasp in the language. Maybe I'm not speaking in the language that I'm comfortable with. So that also changes things.
That is also
So
true. Yeah.
people need to look for the baseline behavior and the incongruency on a person.
True. One thing with the language, I this point came in my mind when you were speaking about the statement analysis. Like it could be that a person's vocabulary is not so good. Maybe they what they feel they cannot put it in terms of words, right? It can also be like that. Like if you're doing a statement analysis, if you're analyzing the language, what kind of words they are using. That point came to my mind because not everybody is a literary genius. Like we have most common people have very small vocabularies.
True.
Okay, and most people don't read. Most people don't expose them to richer literature or speech or something like that. So that is also there, right? I mean, this is kind of again it goes back to taking everything into consideration, right, when you're using this. Okay, so another thing I wanted to ask you is a difference between men and women. See, this is my feeling that women are better in these kind of things. Like they are a better judge of body language. They are also probably socially better than men. Their social skills are better than men. Is it true, or what is it? What do you feel about this?
So, yes, we are going to get some more heat on this again. I do feel women are more
Hmm.
intuitive. And this is something
Hmm.
I and my husband keep arguing about. I tell him that women are more intuitive in terms of social skills.
Hmm.
That means that women knows or can identify things better. There are
Yeah.
pluses, there are minuses. I'll cover both. So, evolutionarily speaking, while the men went out for hunting and gathering, women were around each other and women had to take care of the babies most of the time, right? Till probably our previous generation also, most of the women were taking care of children. Now when this happens, you know that a mother is looking at a baby. If the baby needs something, before the baby even speaks anything, by the broken language or something, the mother knows what the baby wants, right? And think about this, how much of intel have we gathered in years, in millions and millions of years. So by looking at, and it's not one mother and one baby, it's generations and generations where this intelligence has been passed on. That you look at another woman and then you understand what are they trying to see, or what are they trying to feel. Now, on the other hand, because women have been receiving this knowledge for years and years and years, they become socially very much aware and very skillful. Now, the negative side is they expect the same from the man, right? So here is where it goes in a little bit negative side, because I think by looking at somebody I feel that they are not in the moment, or they don't like us, blah blah blah. I by default will feel that maybe my husband understands that. And later on when we come home, I told him, or I asked him that, hey, did you see how the face she was making, and I don't think she likes us, blah blah blah. He said, no, they were having nice time, we laughed and all. I said, no, you, how can you miss all these things? You didn't see anything. So that was one thing. Second point, women also assume a lot of things, because I feel women do a lot of mental calculation. If this mental calculation is put in a right direction, we can excel. But if this mental calculation is only inside the house might be destroyed. You know, this only the one woman of the family who maybe does not have an official work outside. She keeps talking to random relatives, keeps spreading gossips and all that. Right? So this is again mental calculation. So we talk to somebody and we assume a lot of things. And this is also, I think, it is a bone of contention usually between a man and a woman, that if I have to say something, I will not say it directly. I will think, calculate, and something else will come out of my mouth. And a very common example of what I give is my mother's and my father's example. So my mother called me and then she told me that, I came from such a hot summer day outside, but your dad didn't even offer me water. I said, okay, did you ask for the water after you entered the house? So she said, no, but I said, oh my God, it's so hot outside. I said, yes, but did you say that I want water? She said, no, but he should have understood. Right. So here is where it is a problem. Ma thought that if you would have come out from outside from a hot sunny day, I would have offered you water thinking that you might be feeling hot. But you did not do that for me. That is the thought process of a woman. She calculates a lot of steps, and at the end point, she will have a problem with you, and you have no idea what happened, because you have no idea about all these mental calculations which are there. On the other hand, I feel men are very simple. And by the way, recently in one of the sessions that I was taking somewhere, I received this dislike from the women participants saying that, you, how can you say that? So I was saying that men are very simple. If you want them to do something, you tell them the exact same thing. So if you want water, you tell them, I want water. You, if you want to buy a sari, tell them, I want to buy a sari. If you want them to buy you a sari, tell them, I want you to buy me a sari. If you don't like their choice, you tell them, I don't like your choice, take me, I will go with you, I will choose. You speak, and then they will receive it. They're very simple. But if you want them to feel on their own and then act on their own, because they had to feel to buy you a sari because it is your birthday and not his, and he should have done the calculation, that's where the problem is. You know, so that's where the gender discrepancy is.
I can totally relate to this because, uh, when growing up, I was very shy and introverted. I had no connection to girls also. Okay, I was very, very low confidence and low self-esteem. When I got married, see, my wife is the only woman whom, I have talked to a lot. Okay. Uh, but then there is also this inexperience, right? I have no experience with women except for my mother and sisters. Um, so initially, we used to have a lot of these friction because she expected me to behave in a certain way, talk to her in a certain way. But like you said, men are simple. Like I'm thinking in a very simplistic way. I want to keep my wife happy. Okay, I want to have no conflict in my life because I'm someone who will avoid conflict. And yeah, I mean, over the years, when I started my own, journey of transformation, learning and stuff, then it got better. I started to understand it better. Okay. But when you're saying this, I also couldn't help but connect that sometimes men also, even, I go through this, like, sometimes when there is a difficult conversation to be had, or maybe I may have some fear associated, I also do this calculation when I'm speaking to someone. Maybe it's my maybe it's my wife, or maybe it's my father or someone else. I also tend to do this calculation a lot in my mind. Maybe it's just my nature, or maybe uh, I was very close to my mother. I carried a lot of my mother's traits. How do you explain this? Is it like influenced, or there is some
So,
some
men.
femininity in men also?
By the way, I teach this in my self awareness sessions that a person needs to be a union of the masculinity and the feminine.
Yeah.
But a man's calculations are mostly related to the power and the self image. On the other
Hmm.
hand, a
Yeah.
woman's calculation is more in the relation with the acceptance and the love, right? So
Hmm.
when the calculations are like this, only you will find, you will boil it down to these two things. So that
Hmm.
might be an issue.
So one more thing, like you said, women have been, have been on their own and socially, do better because they have to take care of the child. I have observed this before having my own, my own children. I was not so good with children. Like, anyways, I'm a shy and introverted person. I don't speak to other human beings much. But ever since I had my first son, I think I have improved in those aspects. Like, I can see the person and um, maybe get an idea they are going through something. And also, since I became a coach, this became a need to understand people, right? Because initially it was very frustrating. People used to say, "Okay, I'm following my diet, I'm doing everything and all," but then I later on started to realize that, okay, what they say is different from what they actually doing. And then I started paying attention to their expressions. And I mean, not consciously, but this, I developed over the period of years. Okay, now I can really see a person and kind of judge what they may be going through. Maybe they are in a good mood or no, through all these coaching sessions I do with them. um, and then it has developed a little bit. Okay, so my question to you is, what are the few of the underpinnings of your body language, like body language or your skill of deciphering someone else's body language? uh, is it
The sorry.
is it that a person's psychology affects the body language, and also the person's psychology and understanding of these interpersonal relationships affect the person's ability to um, decipher someone else's body language?
The first thing which I tell people is, if you want to learn to know your biases, pick out three good things in a person that you hate or you dislike, right? Because that will be something which will be very tough. Because if you don't like a person, you just don't like them at all, everything. So identifying something which is good in that person who you do not like will something that will make you open up. So that's one exercise that I give people. But what are the things that people need to look for to practice it or to increase it? The first thing is interacting with more people, or at least looking at more people. So if somebody is a very shy introvert person, but they want to know about other people, they can look at a documentary or view podcast or anything. So they need to increase their awareness of human beings. Or something that I really like, which is people watching, like going to a mall, or if you have a plane to catch and you're just waiting. So looking at the people at that point of time actually helps us. So when I'm sitting in the waiting hall and I'm looking at all the people, it's very evident, like in a couple, who loves whom, who's a dominating partner, who's cheating on his partner, and okay, they're, if they are colleagues, who is the boss and who's a subordinate. So all these things are very evident, who likes whom things, right? Now using it to your benefit is something that you need to understand. But you also need to be morally and ethically correct that you should not manipulate a person in that. Most of the con artists who are there, who have been able to get through all these events, are because of their people intelligence, because they have observed a person, right? Same thing is with mentalism. So when a person is talking to you, they are trained to see every small little details on your face, so that they will tell you what are you thinking, not that they can actually read your mind. So when a person thinks about body language, they need to know is, if I'm judging a person, either I have to know entire thing about the person, or at least if I'm honest with myself, my triggers, my biases, then also there is some level of understanding that I can go ahead with. So even that is fine. So starting with facial expressions, body language, people watching is something that helps.
Let's bring the topic to little more about men, because this is this is a show of the men and for the men. Can you give some practical tips for men, how they can improve their body language, um, and present themselves as more confident uh, in professional settings, and also in romantic relationship if they are pursuing someone uh,
Mm,
romantically?
So in professional relationship, the first thing or something I have a few male clients also related to the professional setup,
Hmm.
and what their question was is how do I make my presence felt in the place, right?
Hmm.
So the thing that they need to do is practice on their voice, and they
Hmm.
also need to practice on their non-verbal communication in terms of expanding their body. So these are
Hmm.
the people who are like little low. They want the attention, but their body language is itself which says that they should not be given the mainstream. So the first thing is uncrossing the hands, and then standing tall, no matter what is the height, right? Oh yeah, yeah. Before that, if a person feels they're very thin, they're very fat, they're very short, they're very tall, they need to accept this, that this is a gift because of our ancestors. It's not our fault. So they need to accept this. Because with that insecurity, if they go, their body language will be very much overconfident and rude. So it will not be a likable persona. So once they accept themselves entirely, they have to uncross their hands, and they once they are standing, they need to stand with their feet planted equally. It should not be like this or this. They should be planting their both the feet equally, so the weight is
Equal
divided.
equal weight on both feet.
Yes, very
Hmm.
important. That is something you will not see in people, right?
Hmm.
Usually. Then there is
Yeah.
something called as the voice and the energy in the voice. So
Hmm.
I have seen very less men who smile and say good morning. They say, huh, good morning. My husband is one of them, right? So he used to, now he smiles, but he used to be good morning. I said, if you're saying good morning, there is a good in the word. How can you not smile? So then initially he used to make fun of me, like good morning, like that. Okay. But the thing is, if you smile and say good morning, it changes things, right?
Ah, yeah,
So when
true.
you look at a person and if you say good morning, so that one smile and saying good morning and making your chest protruding a little bit makes you feel that you're owning the place. And these are small little things. When, oh, another thing, thank you so much for bringing this up. Another thing is handshake. So when a person offers a handshake, I have seen men becoming very conscious on how to shake hand with a woman. So some people end up giving a very light handshake because they think that they should not crush the hand. On the other hand, some men feel like, yeah, एक ही मौका मिला है, let me just crush the hand. Okay. So the good handshake is when you grasp the entire hand and you
Yeah.
just press it little bit. It should not be
Hmm.
very tight, should not be very low, right?
Hmm.
So the thing is, a man needs to understand that he can offer handshake to anyone. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
There is no
True.
rule as such, right? That you will shake hand only if a woman offers a shake hand as a kuch nahi, nothing. Then
Mm.
there is something called as
Let me,
yeah.
sorry to cut you off. Let's say it can be from the woman's side also. One thing is, um, uh, what I do is whenever I meet someone, uh, I used to be shy and introverted person, but I have evolved now. I'm eager to meet people. I'm excited to meet people. I'm curious to meet people. If I bring that emotion and shake people's hand, it will come out naturally. Like you don't really need to think you have to, make it firm handshake, or you have to try hard to do it. And that is one thing. Maybe you can share your thoughts about this. Second thing is, I shake women's hand and men in the same manner. It is same all the time. Sometimes when it is mostly people who are very close to me, I have this trust relationship with them. I may shake it a little harder if I see them after a very long time, or if I am excited or kind of want to share that energy, because I'm a coach and I keep getting these, a little bit low confidence boys and all in the gym, and I push them to have a firm handshake. And I always keep saying, like you said, if you only do this, I will not let them go. I will not let them go till they shake my hand properly and look in my face. That is what I I do it. I do my bit there. So that is the thing. But what I want to ask you, maybe you talk about, you share your thoughts about this, and also sometimes women are not open to handshakes. This is also a matter. So how can a person deal with that?
If a woman is not open to handshake, then the better way is to say namaste. So you did this, okay?
Yeah,
And then she's saying, okay, So immediately you take your hand back and say, namaste, hello, how are you?
yeah,
So
yeah.
this is one thing where a man feels rejected, right? So a woman
Hmm.
is not really rejecting. She does not know how to shake hand. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
So if
Hmm.
a woman, if you're offering the handshake to a woman and she's saying, what? Then you say, okay, no problem, namaste. Namaste is also fine. So the
Hmm.
way we make jokes on ourselves, on our small little rejection and failure, also makes us more confident, especially a man, because
Yeah.
in our society we are not taught how to handle rejection.
Hmm.
So let's say you're trying your luck on a girl, or then any boy in your gym, he comes to you, says, sir, coach, this happened, and the girl, I smiled at her, she didn't smile at me, right?
Hmm.
Now I feel like a fool, like, because I
Hmm.
smiled at her, she didn't smile at me. Now I don't know, should I go or talk to her or not. So
Hmm.
next time, this thing is something, it should still be there. Now, non-verbal communication is something a man fails to understand, right? Because he cannot read the non-verbal communication in a woman. Let's say there is this guy, okay, outside of our place where we live. So my sister used to walk our dog outside, and this guy, probably he would have been interested in my sister. So every day he used to smile, right, at my sister. So my sister didn't smile at him at all. So she did this, and this kept happening. And then one fine day, this guy actually comes up and say, "Hello, how are you?" So then my sister told, like, can't you see that I'm not interested in you, right? So she said that very blatantly, and I would not have said that, okay, but she said it. Now the thing is, if if you're smiling at somebody, if so, there are levels. First is making an eye contact. Now the eye contact is for longer or shorter, that also matters. So if I'm walking somewhere and if I am a girl who's probably is single, blah blah blah, and I'm looking at somebody and I make an eye contact, the next step is smile. If this person smiles and if I'm smiling, then it's good. And we should not go with the years old thought process, hasi to fussy. It's not like that. People smile normally also, right? Third thing is when a guy approaches a person, like, hello, blah blah blah, my name is this, I just wanted to know more about you. And if a man is open, a girl, if she's looking for a potential partner, will also be appreciating that. right? So it's better that a man goes out with the expectation of being rejected, कि मैं जा रहा हूं मैं तो रिजेक्ट ही होऊंगा, I will be rejected by her. And then a guy or a man should not try too hard, like hello haha actually I was thinking about no. So go as a confident person, approach, I really liked your smile and thank you so much. Sometimes art of complimenting also helps. A woman might not be looking for a relationship, but you really like the way the person is talking to someone. And one thing I think what women or men both will like is the compliment, the compliment where they have put an effort. So if a person goes and says, I really like your eyes. So to get that color of eyes, the woman has not done anything, right? So on the other hand, if he goes and says, I really like your behavior or I really like the way you talk, that is somewhere a person has worked on. It's related to the personality. So it is more close to them. Or, I really like the dress because the dress has been chosen by me, my brother, or my friend, or anything. So a person should start with compliments and then take it further, understanding if there is a reciprocation. So if a person says, yeah, thank you, and then just turns, that means it's a rejection. Then you say, okay, thank you, have a nice day, and then you just go back. Then you call yourself fool, blah blah blah. But there at least you know that okay, I'm getting rejected, it's fine. So these are some of the things to know.
So it is more about trying to appreciate the person, build that connection rather than just go and appreciate, their beauty or something like that, right?
Yes.
It's more connected to emotion, what you're feeling,
Yes. And
rather than
also,
just
one thing, like again, I have to repeat myself that a person needs to be aware of their insecurities, especially physical
mm,
insecurities. Because
mm,
if I am grown up thinking that I don't look beautiful, and if
mm,
somebody comes and says that, hey, can you just tell your friend she's beautiful? So I will think, what you think that I'm not beautiful? It's not that she is saying, he is saying that I'm ugly. He's saying that she is beautiful. It's not my problem.
mm,
So that is why
mm,
the physical insecurities play a very
yeah,
important role. So if
mm,
in and all these teenagers time it starts hitting, my skin is not good, my complexion is not good, I'm thin,
mm,
fat, I have pimples, I have less hair, all those things.
yeah,
So
yeah,
understanding and accepting it gives you enormous level of confidence, which is a healthy confidence.
yeah, yeah, great. So, just to bring the point back to how you interact with people should arise from how you're feeling, like it should arise from your emotions, right? This is what I wanted to get from you. So, a person who wants to build better connection, or maybe um, professionally, or uh, want to pursue someone romantically, it should always come from this kind of emotion and finding a way to connect with the person rather than just using some sleazy pickup line or something like that, right? Okay, so one more point. You talked about physical insecurities, okay? And I'm someone who was, weak and skinny while growing up. I had this kind of insecurity. I still do sometimes. If there is another man who is, much bigger and well built than me, I sometimes feel okay. But now I have come to terms with that. I have worked on myself. I'm a much stronger person now. Uh, One thing that helped me, I got this from reading a mindset book, which told about, like, it's another version of fake it till you make it. Like, you have to sit straight, you have to, like you said, you have to be tall and, open up your chest, breathe deeper, and then immediately you'll start feeling confident. Okay, so now I want to know from you, because you are also teaching body language, does it work? Like, a person is putting effort to learn body language and also use it, and he ends up becoming more confident, and his, these uh, traits start changing. Does that happen? And there is some more work to do also, like, not only body language, you also have to work on your internal stuff, and really start feeling confident. Do something which makes you confident, like I did with my fitness.
Yes. So, when you say fake it till you make it, a person needs to be in some activity which can induce some level of confidence. Like, for example, I have a very lethargic routine and I do not have any confidence. But I read this book, like, show your confidence to the world, and it's written that make your body like this, blah, blah, blah. So, I have not done anything. But by reading that book, I will go, okay, fine. I will stand like this and I will uncross my hand. I will talk to people. That won't help because deep down you know you have not worked hard for it. So, if let's say I join a Zumba class, I'm dancing every day. So, just because I am in any activity, yoga, Zumba, gym, barbell, anything which I do, that will also add to my confidence because now I feel I'm working towards it. And then the confidence will increase. So, that is very important. So, when people say fake it till you make it, you still do that, but you join some activity where the confidence starts coming in by natural causes also, that oh, I'm walking every day, I'm playing with my dog every day, I'm dancing every day, hence I'm becoming confident. So it's like that, right? You have couple of activities, one for the body, one for the mind, and one for the soul. So if you are doing all of that, then slowly you'll become more confident. Then fake it till you make it is not even required.
Very true. I
Yes.
kept on nodding when you're saying this because, and you also brought up the same thing about your body, your mind, and your soul, like body, mind, and your spirit. Like, if you're taking care of your body, you are working on your body, keeping it fit and good looking for this purpose. And if you're working on your mind, that you are confident in your ability to learn and grow and do difficult things. And also when it comes to soul or spirit, like you are also doing it with a purpose, like you're trying to use whatever you're learning, use your abilities and knowledge to create something, right? Like maybe it may be your work, or maybe by learning how to learning psychology, body language, learning about these things, and also be able to treat people well, show them good time. Maybe it's your family members or your friends and colleagues. That is where everything comes into place. This is what I also believe. Right, what do you
Yes.
say about this?
And now that you said, I remember this time. There was this. Have you seen the movie Dhoom 2? And Hrithik Roshan is dancing on that song, Dhoom Machale. So there's
Yeah,
this
yeah,
iconic dance step, right?
yeah,
In
yeah,
that song, he is wearing a white color banyan, which is torn. Phata banyan pehna
yeah.
tha usko, right?
Yes.
Now the thing is, when he's dancing, so I remember my father telling me that look at Hrithik Roshan. Hrithik Roshan is wearing a torn banyan. Now this is the value of a good body. That whatever you wear, it will suit you. So it's because of his body, even that phatik banyan is looking so nice on him. And then
Very true.
when he said that, that kind of just stayed with me. That having a good body is really important, not aesthetically beautiful body. It needs to be a fit body. Like if
Yeah.
somebody tells you though, okay, fine, the lift is not working, please go to the third floor and get this. You should not be like, oh my God, third floor. You should not be like that. So a fit body is required. And once you are fit through the body or, in your mental space also, you will become better in that manner. And there's this book that I'm reading called as You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay, and she says something called as mental house cleaning. And she also says this, that pick one, body, mind, or spirit. Pick one thing and start working on this. It's like cleaning the house. You don't clean from one room and you don't go to other room or something. You start from any one corner, which is fine, and slowly you will get to any other thing. So if you have picked body, then go to the gym or start working out, doing yoga. Put good things inside the body when you're eating, and value the body as a temple. This is something people don't believe in, right? So they just put in anything and everything in their body. Like, why would you give this torture? And this is something which is coming from a recent experience. I and my husband went to supposedly a five-star resort to have the dinner there. Okay, I don't know why did we do that, but we did. And then we had burger, and we don't really eat burger, but that night we did eat burger. And till the next day in the early morning, we were getting the burps of the burger. And then we both were thinking, what was the need of putting our body through all of that? Not needed. Right. And we both eat healthy. We have a healthy lifestyle. But I don't know why did we do what we did, but we did that. And that's when we realized, okay, fine, burger is a no-go for us now. No more burger for us at all. So the thing is, people need to value their body and their mind and their soul, and they start to work. And if we have so much of things to work, we don't even have time to look at other people what they are doing. How am I comparing to them? What are they doing in their own life? No time at all. So only your
Yeah,
goals,
true.
aspirations.
Yeah, yeah. True, true, true. Very much. This has been my experience. See, ever since I started working on myself, see, I'm not perfect. I'm still working on myself. Okay. There are people who are much more muscular and good looking than me, stronger than me. But the confidence comes from the place where I'm doing everything in my ability to improve myself. Okay. I'm taking care of my body. Okay. And that doesn't make me insecure when I see other people. Okay. Same with anything else. Like whenever I'm trying to improve upon something, um, I know that okay, I'm working on this, I'm getting better. I'll not have this kind of insecurity or inferiority complex when I see other people who are doing much better in that area. So this is what I have felt. When you are working on yourself, doing everything possible to take care of a particular problem or area where where you feel where you feel you're lagging or there is a shortcoming, that is a way to feel confident and also be happy with who you are currently, right?
True, true, true.
Yeah, yeah. I think if we keep on talking, there'll be a lot of stuff to talk. we have to uh, we have to respect the time and keep it short enough so that we have stuff for another sitting like this, right?
Yes.
So, Kanan, I want to ask you last two questions. One is, what is what is that you want to create with whatever you're doing? Maybe your body language. You teach body language. You also help people by counseling them through therapy. What kind of impact you're actually trying to create?
I'm trying to make people aware of handling their repressed feelings. That is something where I feel that probably I can be a teeny tiny bit, or I can be a person of some contribution, because the repressed feelings are something which makes us into a person who is very bad in terms of behaviors, different behavioral issues, attachment issues, loyalty issues, financial goals issues. All the things stems out from the childhood experience. And again, not everybody's childhood experience is very good. So if did not happen, there is a way that we need to figure it out on what went wrong and how to correct that in our mind. So there is journaling, there is talking. So I think to deal with the repressed emotions and feelings are the area where I need to work for and create a small little impact.
I feel it's a very noble job because see, I remember one of your videos where you were saying that if a person who needs therapy is not getting therapy, he is putting other people around him in therapy, right? So that's so, and I think there has to be a lot of awareness and openness to this. So I have been through therapy myself, and it has helped me immense. Like it has helped me, sail through these tides of bad feelings and emotions, and which was hurting me from inside. It's a great job you're doing, Kanan, and I really
Thank you.
appreciate what you're doing. So one last question is, what would be your advice to men listening to this? Um, Maybe few tips to take care of their mental health and well-being. What they can do better immediately from this point when they hear this.
Um, First thing is to be honest with yourself. Very
Yeah.
important thing. Being honest to myself. If my mother has not been a loving mother, I will accept that. Right? I will
Mm.
not say that no, my mother didn't have time. She was a working woman. I never really had that. I will not make excuses or justifications for that. This is an example. So, being honest with yourself on what went wrong in the childhood, and there has to be one thing or the other that went wrong. Okay. Second thing is to accept it and then try to work on it. Okay, fine. So I have not received love. Maybe because of that, whenever I find a girl, I give all to that girl. And then that girl ends up leaving me because I become very clingy with the girl, or I become very protective because I have never been protected in my childhood. So I need that, right? Third thing is to try to be a better communicator. So a man, what happens is, if a man, I feel, puts his ego aside, a man becomes a wonderful man, right? So if a man is trying his luck regarding a job, regarding a girl, so he needs to be open with his emotion and say it out loud. तो क्या हुआ अगर रिजेक्शन मिल गया, it's fine, but accepting the failure, accepting the rejection will make him more resilient, and to understand that failure is a part of the life. So fine, if this girl has rejected me, maybe there's another girl who will accept me. So, accepting rejection and try to be a better communicator. The last thing is to know that the enemy of confidence is hesitation, right? So, the more you hesitate, the lesser confident you become. And then we have our society where our mental well being is much less important than the reputation of the family. So, that is there, I would want to say.
Great advice, Kanan, because I can very much relate to this, and I would say when I did all these things, I mean, thanks to other people on the internet who somehow guided me, acceptance of whatever has gone wrong with you, acceptance of your shortcomings. It's okay to be rejected, and it's okay to fail, right? And see, one with this point about failure is it is you are the you have the biggest ego when you don't want to fail. That is your ego stopping you
True.
from looking bad. Okay, this was life changing for me when I heard this statement. Like, it is your ego which is stopping you from failing or looking bad, or looking like a fool, not trying something which you really truly want to do. And this has helped me to quit my job and do whatever I love doing. And I loved every bit of what I am doing currently. So yeah, I mean, what is the last point? Sorry, I forgot. What's
The
the last
last
point?
point is our reputation is much important than our mental
Yeah,
health.
yeah. So bringing back to the same thing. Reputation is nothing but your ego. It's okay that it doesn't matter what other people think. What matters is what you think about yourself, and end of the day, you shouldn't have any regrets, right? That you didn't try.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So unfortunately, we have come to the end of this discussion and conversation. I truly, enjoyed this discussion. There is so many things I want to ask you, and I want your commitment that you will come again on the show.
More books,
Yeah,
more
yeah,
podcasts. We
yeah,
have our
yeah.
deal.
Okay, thank you so much, Kanan, for coming and sharing your knowledge and adding value to my viewers and listeners. Thank you so much.
By the way, I would also want to say something that you starting this men transformation coach, I'll not say business because this is something which is really, really important. I feel there are a lot of Instagram influencer, YouTubers who are influencing men in a very wrong way.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I feel a man needs to know how to be a man, which I think they have forgotten in some way, right? So people
mm,
like you are entering and they are actually getting on with this transformational thought, which is again, which was already present. For example, in
yeah,
Hinduism, we have this amazing being called as Shiv,
yeah,
right? And if you look at Shiv and his journey with Parvati, he is a person who, in today's society, if he is a husband, he will be called as a henpecked husband or a जोरू का गुलाम. सारे काम करते हैं जो वाइफ बोलती है, right? But he is treated as like, oh, Shiv Shankar, and Shankar Gauri, and all that, right? But if it comes to a local household where a man starts listening to his wife, oh, so you're now listening to your wife. I so what? Whoever is a better driver drives the car. What is wrong in that? Right? So I really appreciate your thought process that you're trying to do something for much better cause, which is
yeah,
making a man a fully like a man, and a man will become a good person when they accept their feminine side as well. Same, I tell that to my female clients that you need to accept the masculine side of yours. It needs to be a union so that you as an individual become powerful. And that is something I am greatly thankful to you that you have started this, and thanks so much for calling me into this podcast.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Like I said in the beginning of the episode, your mess becomes your message. I have been trying to be someone, um, who society wants you to be, or at least I thought society expects this from me, or I was trying to fulfill all the metrics set by the society. But then when I realized that I have to set my own metrics and uh, also at the same time be a good person and someone who adds value to other people's life. Maybe it's your spouse. Okay, it's your responsibility to enrich your spouse's life, right? It's not about
Absolutely.
you, it's about what you do. Yeah. So yeah, again, thank you so much, and looking forward to the next one.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.